What's up YouTube, this is Arlyoshi as usual. I'm Max bringing you more Let's Play Asagao Academy Normal Boots Club. This time, we are doing Jirard's route. If you recall last time, we started the route off, and before that, we had just finished John's route. I did mention this last episode, but if you were to look at the description below, every episode of Jirard's route will have a link to a straw poll where you can vote on the route that I will be doing after Jirard. It has basically every possible route besides the ones I've already done. I'll be trying to keep that consistent throughout my various playthroughs of this game, and yeah, go and vote for whoever you think I should date next. I'm sorry there is no my option. Anyway, we're moving on now with Chapter 2. Oh, again, but this time it's Jirard's Chapter 2. In some ways, it was a huge disappointment that Jirard wasn't in my class. In other ways, it was a relief. I longed to see him again, to talk to him, and to feel his warmth, but that would have been way too distracting in class. Especially with Mai around, making that face. When lunch finally rolled around, I sprang from my desk like a rocket shooting out into space.
Hana!
Whoa, Hana, calm down! Hurry up, Mai. I'm really hungry today. I'm sure you are, Hana. Hungry for the D. Nope, you get it for me. Hungry for Jirard.
What?
Pardon? Nothing. Let's go. As Mai and I approached the normal boots table, Jirard flashed around an IBK with a gray wizard's hat and long beard, a huge dorky grin on his face.
See what I mean?
Check it out, it's Grandbeard the Bay! He's one of the rare finds that is said to lack a gender, not participating in either norms but preferring to be referred to as a he. We squeezed into the table as the rest of the boys looked on, bemused. I like his cloak. Right? Most of the versions I saw were missing it, but they were still trying to charge almost full price for him. It was ridiculous. The boys nodded slowly. Nobody else seemed to know what to say, despite Jirard's intense enthusiasm. Well, congratulations. I may have to murder you for it later.
Thank you.
Jirard glowed with pride, completely oblivious to the weird looks he received from students at other tables. He truly didn't seem to care what other people thought about him. I had no idea how he could stick to his guns without feeling even the slightest bit ashamed. As Jirard returned to his seat, I waved sheepishly at him.
Good morning.
Hana, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
I'm great, thank you. How are you? I'm fantastic. Even better now that I've seen you. I couldn't wait to show you Grandbeard. Yeah, he looks really cool. Super cute.
Awesome.
Yeah, apparently Grandbeard casts magic with his hair, and his secret weapon is his eyelashes. Now that you mentioned it, Grandbeard's long lashes stretched from his face in a somewhat creepy way. Other than that, he looked like a cuddly old kitty, but those eyelashes. Excuse me, can I see that figure? A young student, probably a first year, approached the table and poked Jirard in the back.
Uh-huh.
Of course. He turned completely around, chatting animatedly with the kid about the trade he made for Grandbeard and the myriad route it took to get to him. I watched him, happiness filling my heart. Jirard was just so cool. Even at the times I had stayed true to myself in my old school, I ended up feeling a constant gnawing anxiety, wanting to take it back or make up for it again so it would go away. Jirard just seemed to be happy. When he was around, even I could show my interest in his strange hobby without feeling bad about it. Earlier in the year, I would have felt more embarrassment for him than he did. As I looked more closely at Grandbeard the Bay, I remembered my own Chibiupa, and a sudden thought occurred to me. I was probably in the same boat as Jirard. If anybody ever found out about her, I'd be mocked to hell and back. Probably not as bad as Jirard, given that I was a girl, but I could already hear the whispers pointing out that I had no business being involved in the Normal Boots Club when I was clearly such a weirdo. Mimi would never let me forget it either, would she? Every time I ran into her in the bathroom, she'd mock me. Maybe people would even try to take Chibiupa away from me. A feather-like touch tapped my shoulder, and my dark thoughts were banished. My motion for me to come closer to her and lead in to whisper in my ear. What do you think about Jirard's itty-bitty kitty collection? I mean, honestly speaking. Honestly speaking? Honestly? We just had, like, 10 lines of dialogue about this. I think they're cute. Mai shot me a weird look, then shrugged. I guess. And I admire how much dedication it probably takes to collect something for so long. Mai nodded passively, apparently quite aware I was backtracking. I turned away, cheeks burning. When we were finished eating, Mai and I dumped our trays and headed for the door.
Hana.
Hana! Maya and I turned, and an eager Jirard ran up to us. Hey, Hana, I was hoping I could walk you back to class today. What do you think?
Really?
Me? Why? Yes, you. Of course you. In that case, I will entrust you to her care. Maya clapped Jirard on the back, then gave me a wink and a thumbs up. But...
Hasta la vista, baby.
They had a voice line for that? Please tell me that means she says it in other words too. Hey, Jared, wait up! Jared glanced over his shoulder, and upon seeing May's enthusiastic form barreling towards him, immediately sprinted out the door. Unfortunately, if there is one person on this earth who could give Jared a literal run for his money, it was Mai. She dashed to the door, and clouds of dirt kicked into the air around their chase, a veritable sandstorm spitting their way through the Asagao campus. Anyways, what's up? Nothing is up. I just wanted to hang out with you. I mean, I know we just saw a ton of each other at the flower festival and everything, but... Well... At the mention of the flower festival, we both fell into an odd silence, memories floating into space between us. Yeah, that sounds great to me. Great! Jirard beamed at me and pushed the cafeteria door open. We stepped into the fresh spring air, the remnants of Mai's chase still drifting in the distance before us. Now that Jirard and I were alone, I didn't know what to talk about. It was weird. We had feelings for each other. How were we supposed to talk? Jirard strolled next to me, staring up into the deep blue sky. Think of something, Hana. Chibiuba is doing well, by the way.
Really?
I was expecting him to go, yeah, she's a plastic toy. Of course she is. Is she? That's great. She's really so cute, and she's small, so she doesn't take up that much space. I could see how having a whole bunch of itty-bitty kitties would be appealing. So much cuteness, and you could see it every time you wake up.
Right?
Right? That's exactly how I feel about it. It's just really fun, and if you could find something to brighten up your day, why not do it? I mean, what if brightening up my day involves killing a puppy? You said you didn't like that. Life can already be hard enough, so we shouldn't make it harder for anybody.
Right?
Right? But as I beamed at Jirard, a memory wedged itself into my mind. A memory from just before I came to Asagao. A memory that involved one of my past friends. We shouldn't make it harder for anybody, huh? But... Oh, so today I got some news about Princess Pumpernickel. Princess Pumpernickel? She's the rarest itty-bitty kitty figure. Supposedly there's only 3 copies of her in existence. Wait, I think we talked about this... Am I correct in assuming we talked about this before? I think we talked about it in the original Let's Play at some point. And didn't you say there was more than 3? Apparently, some collectors are starting to think she doesn't exist. One compiled this huge list of information about the supposed figure and posted it online, and now the community split on it. Even direct feedback from the itty-bitty kitty committee. Hang on, I'm gonna try this one again. Even direct feedback from the itty-bitty kitty committee didn't calm the flame war. It's gotten intense. The itty-bitty kitty committee, I want that to be a real thing, just because I like the name. Do you think it exists?
Absolutely.
Good enough. Why on earth wouldn't they? That would be a waste of time and money on the itty-bitty kitty committee's part, and it would make their fanbase angry. What purpose would that serve? Even in the event they didn't have one before this outrage, they'll be starting up production as we speak. He sighed dreamily. I can't wait for the day I have my very own Princess Pumpernickel. Can you imagine? I shook my head. I had no idea what it was like to long for something so intensely, nor to stay so upbeat in the event of an almost inevitable failure. Seriously, only 3 copies in the entire world? And the developers probably owned one of those for sure. But Jirard was undeterred. Now, this definitely was brought up, and I remember that because there were some comments talking about how, limited run things. And it's like, what kind of limited run only puts out 2 of them? Okay, here's the thing. Limited runs happen for 2 reasons. The first is lack of resources or some sort of cancellation, but usually at that point, more than, say, 2 of a figure is going to be made. The second is putting them out slowly over time to kind of keep their fan base, keep them hungry and keep them coming back for more. That's kind of like what Nintendo does with Amiibos and the NES Classic. And it's just, that second one is like, I'm just gonna say right now, kind of a dick move. But anyway, neither of those options seem like they fit here. So why would there only be 2 available figurines? It's like, another option I remember is like if they're given out as, say, like prizes in contests or competitions or things like that. But that doesn't seem like that would make sense here either. That would be something that he would bring up, I feel like. Just, ugh. I've wanted it ever since I first started collecting. You could say the dream of having it was what sparked my fascination with IBKs in the first place. That's so cute. We stopped in front of the door to my classroom, and Jirard saluted me.
Thanks for listening.
Well, I'll be on my way. Thanks for walking with me. No, thank you. Jirard disappeared to his own classroom, and I stopped to grab my math book from my locker before heading in. When I closed my locker door, Jimmy was there. Ah! What is this? He's never gonna find it, you know. I stared incredulously at him, and he pointed from his eyes to mine. I'm watching you. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? What the fuck? What? So, he's never gonna find it. I'm watching you. Goodbye. Jimmy slithered off towards the lower staircase, heading to his classroom on the first floor. I shook my head slowly. Sure, it was possible that Jirard wouldn't find his itty-bitty kitty figure, but I wanted him to find it. I really wanted him to find it. Surely there was some way I could help. So immediately after class, I made my way to Bluebell House. If I was going to help Jirard find Princess Pumpernickel, I needed to know what she looked like. I knocked on Jirard's door, and he instantly threw it open, as if he was waiting on the other side that whole time.
Hana!
Hana, glad to see you. Why don't you come in? Okay. Jirard's dorm room was surprisingly neat considering how many itty-bitty kitty figures he had. He must have cleaned it up a bit after the last time I saw him. Do the beds look different? No, the beds look the same. Okay, guess the text box just makes it hard to tell. Shane glared at me from his desk, where he was bent over some kind of drawing pad. I smiled nervously at him, and he huffed. Hi. And he went instantly back to his art. What did I ever do to him? I mean, he did catch you stealing the boots. There is that. Or not stealing the boots. He did catch you in the act of what looked like you were attempting to steal the boots. Jirard scanned his room, and after a few seconds, he went to his desk and leaned ever so casually against it.
What's going on?
So what brings you here? I just saw you earlier today. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bother you.
Say what?
Say what? You're not bothering me. Don't even worry about it. I'm always around when you need to talk. Apparently finding the desk too uncomfortable, he perched himself on the couch, grabbing a pillow and hugging it close. He looked like a kid at a slumber party. So, what are the deets? Well, I want to help you find Princess Pumpernickel, but in order to do that, I'm going to need some information. I tried my hardest to look imposing. My game face was on, but Jirard just laughed. That's really sweet of you, but I can't find it. There's no way you can. You don't know that. Maybe I'll be in just the right place at exactly the right time. Maybe, I guess so. Well... He glanced quickly at Shane, then turned back to me with a mischievous smile. There's a gaming convention happening this weekend, and we were all planning to go. Maybe you could come along. Shane's pencil broke mid-stroke. He cursed softly.
What?
A convention? Okay, sorry. Whenever, I don't know what it is, but when you like writing with a pencil and it breaks, but you don't immediately register that it's breaking, and then you scrape the pencil on the paper. I don't know why. That's like nails on a chalkboard to me, and I just instantly thought of it, and just my entire body is curling up right now. My god. I am now distracted for the rest of this episode. A convention? I've never been to one. What are they like? Well, they're a place to find out about cool games, buy neat fan gear, meet people, and mostly hang out with friends. Almost like a vacation. I know they're intimidating because of all the people, but they're really fun. You should come. Shane very audibly sighed. Jirard glanced at him, the picture of concern. Got artist block? Something like that. Anyways, there are always people selling IBKs there, and maybe someone will have Princess Pumpernickel. It's worth a shot, isn't it? An image of the map Jirard was drawing as I asked him to the flower festival popped back into my head. He'd been preparing for this for weeks. Well, I'd love to come help. Mike can come too, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. The more the merrier. Oh my god, really?
Oh.
Did you drop an ink blot again? Man, today is not your day. No, it really isn't. Oh, but how am I going to get out of class on Friday? The Normal Boots Club has special permission to go, so I'll just add your name to the list. The Normal Boots Club had permission to skip class? I never heard of such a thing. So this was the might of their power.
Yay!
In that case, I better get my homework done. Don't want to be doing any on the trip.
All right.
Great! Man, now I'm even more excited. It'll be the best one ever, eh, Shane? Kill me now. Okay, we'll call Satch. A road trip with the Normal Boots Club? Getting to go with them to a convention? This was the greatest day of my life. The amount of effort Maya and I put into our homework that week was only matched by our rabid excitement at the slowly approaching weekend. For the first time in forever, Maya didn't procrastinate. When we studied together, she actually helped instead of mooching off my work. Not that I usually minded. As we packed our bags the night before, slight trails of blood kept falling from Maya's nose.
Oh, Jirard.
I am really not looking forward to the day that I end up choosing Jared, and then Maya just ends up, breaking my face. Yeah. Maya, you sure you're okay? Oh, totally. I'm totally fine. So it was that on Friday morning. Maya and I stumbled out into the pre-dawn light, eyes barely even open. It was chilly that morning, and we huddled together as we walked to Asagao's iron-wrought front gates.
Hey, Mai, Hana.
Ah, they actually got lines for that. Good morning. Jirard waved vigorously at us as we approached, and I resisted the urge to clamp my hands across my ears.
Good morning.
Are we ready to go yet? Okay. First off, I want to point out, this is the first time we've ever seen Maya in anything but her uniform or her pajamas. This is the first time I can think of, and we went through the entire JonTron route. And second, why do people do that, where they tuck the front of their shirt into their pants and leave the rest hanging out? I think you should go all in or all out, and for that matter, it should be all out, because when you put it all in, that's more uncomfortable, and also just makes it, I don't know, it just looks, I just don't like the way it looks unless you're deliberately trying to be formal. And I don't see why you would tuck in just the front, unless it's a case of your belt buckle is kind of touching your stomach. In which case, why not tuck in your whole shirt? Or don't wear a belt, just wear pants that fit. Yeah. Are we ready to go yet? Jirard glanced at the others. Jared, John, Continue, Satch. Everybody was there, spreading yawns between each other like the plague. No, we're still missing some people.
Really?
Missing some people? Who on earth?
Hey.
Hey guys, sorry we're late. I jumped and skittered several feet away. Ian and the rest of the Hidden Block Club were behind me, looking just as miserable as I felt.
Awesome.
Sweet, we're ready to go! Wait, you guys are coming too? Of course, it's a video game convention after all. But we're enemies! That's adorable. Ian brushed past me. I don't remember if I gave these guys voices, so I'm probably just not gonna bother. We might be enemies, but we're also friends. Frenemies?
Oh, yeah.
Frenemies who sincerely want the best for each other. So, friends, then. No, frenemies. Ellipses. Irritated ellipses at that. If we don't get going now, we'll miss the train, and I am not up for waiting another 2 hours for the next one. Look at this! Even my sparkles are getting impatient!
Right.
Right. Everybody, sail out! We piled into the tiny train, which at such an early hour was mostly occupied by little old men and ladies on a day trip. They watched us enter the train with something like abject terror. One lady hid her purse as we passed. Ah, damn millennials, how dare they exist to carry on our DNA and genes into the next generation. Eventually, Jirard, PBG, and I found an empty compartment and piled in. Jirard peered out the window, head flicking like a dog's as he watched the trees pass by. In the IRL, so, what are we going to do when we get there? I don't know. I'll probably wander around. I hear there's supposed to be a pregame somewhere on the second floor. We have to check in first, but after that, everybody can do what they want. Oh. You okay with that? I guess I didn't check with you before. I've never been to a convention before, and I'm really nervous. What if I get lost? I don't know much about games either. Conventions are so fun, though! You'll be fine. Don't even worry about it. I can verify one thing about conventions, and if you've ever thought of going to a convention but are worried, let this reassure you. There is not going to be, provided you are obviously, still in the convention, you are not going to find a single person there who does not want to help you. At most, you'll find somebody who can't help you. Okay? That's about it. So if you get lost, you find someone, and you say, where can I find this? That's also bearing in mind the fact that convention centers, they're actually pretty well laid out. So it's pretty easy to figure out where to go. So, yeah. Consider that a little bit of advice for anybody out there who wants to go to a convention and is worried. Like, trust me, there is not going to be a single person there who you will not be able to get along with, unless they shouldn't be there in the first place. And that's like a 1,000,000 to 1 chance of finding them. I smiled weakly at Mai. It was easy for her to say something like that. She was a social butterfly with a bright and vibrant personality. No matter where she went and who she talked to, she glistened. I, on the other hand, was me.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is just a bunch of fans gathering to have fun. No one's going to grill you about why you're there. Everybody wants to have a good time. Yeah, see? Even Jirard knows. I guess so. If you want, you could stick around with me. It might get a little boring, but I won't mind the company. I searched Jirard's face, wondering whether his offer was sincere. Jirard was such a nice guy, but it was hard to tell whether he was doing things just to be nice, or whether he sincerely wanted to do them. Did he feel responsible for me? Or did he feel obligated to help people out? He was, after all, this nice to everybody. I didn't want to hang around him and wreck the convention he'd been planning to go to for months. He had a map, for heaven's sake. I would get in the way. I didn't want to be trailing him around like a kindergartner afraid to leave her mom, either. Still... Okay, then. Okay. Reasoning things. Despite the advice I just gave, considering the context, I think it might be better for Hana to kind of stick around with Jirard. Because A, this is Jirard's route and all. And B, she doesn't seem to understand the logic of just ask someone for help. So if she were to get lost, that might be a problem. Plus, also, I don't want you to have to babysit me. Sounds kind of rude. Yeah, I think it'd be best if she stuck with Jirard, just considering her personality and considering his personality and considering this is the Jirard romance route. Jirard gently laid a hand on my shoulder, the sudden weight of it surprising me. I remember what it was like to go somewhere alone for the first time. I was terrified too, but that's how I met all these guys.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll have a great time. The train shuddered and pulled into a station. My heart leaped into my chest, but everyone else cheered and whooped.
Yeah!
Time to get this party started! Mai and PBG grabbed their stuff and dashed straight off the train, but Jirard waited by the door while I pulled my backpack down from the upper racks. You ready for this? I think so.
Aw, yeah.
Great. Let's go! And in the next episode... Okay, anyway, in the next episode, we will continue on with the convention, and we'll go to a convention, and we will see what happens there. It will not be very conventional, I'm guessing. Haha. I've been Max, and see you next time for more Dating Jirard. Whoosh, boom, boom.